Hi, I'm Alice.
Hi, I'm Justin.
And you're listening to the Otterly Owlsome podcast. Who knows what we'll talk about? You should do the countdown like that every time.
I can record it and just do that every time.
Yes.
Okay, go Rory's story.
So, have I told you that Rory, when we're gone, misbehaves?
You may have mentioned a couple of things, like some murdered dolls and some holes where dead bodies are.
Yeah. So, the digging, I think we've got kind of under control. But yesterday, we went to David's mom's for lunch. So, we were gone maybe 2 hours. Maybe. And we have like a little camera in the living room that we can just log into and look, you know? So we're trying to like keep an eye on her because if we yell at her through it, she'll stop. Because the day before I have these little skiing gnomes on my entryway table. She took them all off the entryway table and tried to chew their skis off. Well, yesterday, our living room tree, it's like 9 feet because we have vaulted ceilings. She ate like 6 shatterproofs. And there was just ornament debris all over the living room. But I'm like, they may be shatterproof, but they're not Rory-proof. She has broken, let's see, she took this one off the tree. See, I have all my ornaments
and the White House
sticks. All of these off the tree. I have to fix. But these are some of my travel ornaments.
I'm going to kick Haley. Hold on 1 second. You quit snoring. Okay.
So.
Hey, look, she's looking at you right now.
She is. And she ate David's Atlanta Braves ornament.
Uh-oh.
And then she broke our ornament from our honeymoon in the Bahamas. So I told David now he has to take me back.
To the Bahamas. That's a great way to get a vacation.
So.
I wonder what is up with all the misbehaving. Like, that's so weird.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's almost time for her to get fixed.
That's right. We did talk about spaying.
That'll bring her down a little bit. But when we're home, it's fine because we, like, run them all the time. And so she gets worn out. And so she's not. But she just gets bored.
You think it's a boredom thing?
Yeah. And, like, we bought one of those little busy mats where you hide the treats in it. And Riley just picks it up so they all fall out and then eats them.
Because she's smart. She's old and wiser.
She is very smart. But
she's like, how can I get the least amount of work possible to get the most benefit? So
David is very anti-crating. Guess what we bought this weekend?
Bought a crate?
We did.
I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got. They are animals. I mean, despite what people think, they are animals.
Yeah, and it's just for when we're gone. It's not like it's a forever home. But if we're running a quick errand, I don't want to come back and have my house torn apart. You know. And I think she'll grow out of it. I mean.
And if you think about, like, a human response when you get back would be to yell at the dog. They're going to have no idea why you're yelling at them.
I did show her the ornaments. I'm like, don't do this.
And she's probably like,
she's like, what?
I want to go for a walk.
Yeah. So,
more dog fun.
I know. She's getting there. She'll finally play ball now, though.
BAL?
Yes, that's fine. They're both sleeping. But she'll actually bring it back and drop it instead of just run around the yard with it. So
that's good.
Progress.
Gotta burn that energy up.
I know.
We're having the opposite problem. We just had to put a ramp up to my office.
Aww.
Because she's having trouble making steps now. Yeah.
That's sad.
The old lady. And she's snoring like crazy. Hello?
I can't hear it.
Oh my god, it's all I can hear.
I can't hear it.
I'll just be quiet. And now she stops.
I was like, I turned my camera, or my volume up. Still not here. This is my last week teaching.
The one of teaching in the evening?
Mm-hmm. They have their final project.
Ooh. What is their final project? They have to pick something?
So we split them into groups. So it's a group project, which to me was like, no. But they had to pick an app or a problem and create an app to solve it. So they have to present on Wednesday. And so I've seen some of them. One was hair appointment booking. One was like a loan thing, and if you had a low credit score, then it like automatically did a different route. And then I'm trying to remember what the other ones were. So the hair, loan. There was one like about sporting goods, or no, boxing. It was a gym, like a gym membership thing.
Okay.
So yeah, there were some cool ones. Like I was impressed. And then someone was trying to get real fancy. I was like, look, it's a bit much. You're biting off a lot for the time you have, unless you literally have hours every night to work on it. They're like, no, thank you. So we scaled it back.
That's good. Yeah, that's good to be that advisor.
Yeah.
I was always that student. I'd be like, I'm going to solve world hunger with my ServiceNow app.
And I'm like, guys, you have like 2.5 weeks to do this. And some of it requires a little more advanced things.
How did you encourage them to come up with ideas? Because the reason I ask is I get asked a lot on LinkedIn about what app should I make? What do you see? And I'm just like, this is really something you should figure out, like, because you're going to be invested in it. But what do you advise?
So we talked through, because some of them were like, I feel like I can't. I was like, well, think about things you do in your everyday life, like that you wish there was an easier way to do it. Like my I guess are you technically a millennial?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm 82. So
yeah. So you're like on the line like I am. And so I'm like, I would rather do anything rather than pick up the phone. If I can't book an appointment online, like I'm going to look everywhere else first before I choose that place. And that seemed to be the majority of the apps. It was like booking a hair appointment, doing a gym membership, like all of it. And so it kind of made me laugh that like, that's such a necessary thing in the day and age we live in. And if people don't offer it, they're losing business. So.
No integrations, no artificial intelligence, nothing like that. Okay.
Book an appointment.
Straight up classic ServiceNow. Yep.
Yeah. Because my hair girl, thankfully I know her, but she doesn't. I'm helping her with her website, hair so girl. She can have booking up my stylist. But
your makeup artist, or
she just does my hair. She probably could do my makeup, but I'm getting my hair done tomorrow, so. Just before the party.
There was someone I was talking to. I can't remember what it was, but I found out how much women pay to get their hair done. I was just like,
well, so it varies on where you live.
Well, sure, yeah, like most things, but still, it's more than $20.
Yeah.
That's a guy's haircut. It's like $20-$30.
But the thing with like stylists, there's like chemistry and science. Like they have to measure and like mix, and like they also have to be like a little artistic, So I'm okay paying like the $80 I pay.
Well, see, I know more than that. Like $300 is what I'm thinking. For a good dye and a good cut.
My girl is amazing, and I pay like $85. She's like the best person I've ever had do my hair.
Speaking of millennials, you may remember from the 90s, it was a trend for men or boys to get tips in their hair. Yes. And so I did the trend, but I have very, very dark hair.
Pictures.
Do I have pictures? I might have pictures of it with it dyed, but the first time they did it, it was very hard to bleach the hair, and I didn't want blonde tips. I wanted like a lighter brown.
The frosted tips.
The frosted tips was a thing, but I wanted like a lighter color. So she tried to bleach it and then add back like an ash color or something. But what happened is it grabbed all of the gray from the dye and none of the brown. So I had like George W. Bush gray tips.
Awesome.
It was horrible. So I ended up bleaching my hair. I went home and just bleached my whole head.
When you were so my brother's 2 years older, so he was 83. Sun-In was a big thing too. Like the Sun-In spray that was just essentially bleach spray. Like all the high school boys did that when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And they did the frosted tips.
I don't know. What are they doing now? Other than looking like a mess. Yeah.
Mullets
are back.
Yes, like especially little baseball kids, like they all have mullet.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I always wanted long hair, but I was never patient enough to grow it out. It was Florida. It was hot as something really hot.
Yeah. David shaves his head every summer because it's so hot. When he lived in Arizona, that's when he started shaving his head in the summers.
Yeah, I had, speaking of a hairstylist, I used to go to one, and she canceled on me one time. And so I was like, well, I'm going to buy some clippers. And so I bought some clippers. It's like, I don't need a hairstylist anymore. No offense, but I got this from here on out. So.
Yeah. I've had gray hair since I was 12, so.
I'm just amazed. I don't know if it's like this for women, but I cut my hair every Sunday. That's every Sunday. That's my routine. I get it all cut. And the hairs that grow back the fastest and the longest are the gray hairs. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what's you guys?
They're usually more coarse, so there's more stuff.
Yeah, they're a little more wiry, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, trust me.
Want to stick out and say, "Hey, I'm here."
Trust me, I know.
I guess when you have shorter hair, like me and David, it really stands out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Every change stands out when you have short hair. Yeah. I was speaking of last night, so I was doing something, and I was like, "What is that thing?" I was like this mark on the top of my head. So I took the clippers and it was like, and it was blood. I had somehow cut my scalp, and I just kept going over and over again, thinking that there was like hair in there. Oh. And I'm like, "Oh, I just made that little cut worse." Thanks, Justin.
Like, I'm so glad this is.
What a weird topic! I didn't expect to discuss.
Yeah.
So teaching is coming to an end. I guess they're going to give them the holidays off as the idea.
Well, they had the week of Thanksgiving off. And last week we had like very short lesson, and then they had like the whole time to work on their group projects.
And what is the group part of it?
So they're in groups of like 3 to 5. And so them as a team, they have to come up with an idea and then build it. And so as we went through like how to present, it was like someone can be the project manager and someone can be this. I don't know. They all seem to just be doing it together, which is fine. But like the presentation piece of it, we talked about presenting skills last week.
When you were a student and you had to work group projects,
I hated
which student were you?
I was the one that was there doing all the work.
Yeah.
And what was bad, so in college, what class was it? It was some business class, I don't remember. And we had this guy that just like showed up like at the first meeting, said he was going to do everything, showed up to literally every meeting saying, "I'm working on my stuff," would like show us drafts, and then just disappeared 2 weeks before it was due. We had to go tell the teacher, like, we do not have time to like do his part because we had like a whole semester to work on it. And so he let us not do that portion.
Oh my gosh.
Somehow. So
there's always that one that skates by. I just never understood it.
And then I was in I did an MIS degree, and no offense to MIS kids, but there's some weird ones. And we had this one teacher who we had several group projects, and she would grade your presentation as a team, like on how well you covered the topic, but then she gave you an individual presentation score. So like how I presented my part, because a lot of those people were like this, like reading instead of like presenting. And so I was so glad, because don't judge me on them reading their piece of paper.
So when you present, you know how you have the little section for notes at the bottom? Mm-hmm. Do you read those? So
when I present, the first time I go through, because I practice a lot, the first time I go through, I literally read verbatim. I sit and I read, and then I figure out what sounded right and like what flowed really well, and then I go back and I tweak it, and then I read it again verbatim. Then I break it into like talking points. And then I kind of put the bullets down at the bottom, and they're mostly there if I forget where I'm at, so I can just quickly glance.
I know you're presenting all the time.
Yes.
Have you, in fact, you did last week, which was beautiful. I stayed on for the first 15 or 20 minutes of the webinar last week, and then I got hungry. No offense. But have you incorporated AI or ChatGPT into generating content or visuals, or not yet? Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. I'm a bad technologist.
So
here's my weird concern. Like, I think AI is cool and it's a great tool to have. But my concern is, like, if I put in a prompt and then you put in the same prompt, like, it's not going to have my voice to it. It's going to have, like, and so I try to do my voice instead of, like, pulling down. Like, but I think it's great when you don't know how to do something or you're trying to learn.
Right. I'm going to show you our episode from last week. I finished up editing last night, and I want to show you a new feature and see what you think. I'm going to share my screen. Look at me, I'm sharing my screen.
What?
Window, and I want to share that window, which has our pictures on it. Okay, share. Okay, so Allison knows this, but for those of you that are seeing this for the first time, we use Riverside, and it has all our episodes in it. There's the one we're recording right now. You can see episode 39. But here's episode 38, which was last week we recorded. And I got a chance to click a button to say generate show notes. And this is the show notes it generated. So you got...
See, that's awesome. Like, that's an efficiency.
Yeah. I didn't use them because I had already, I'd shown you how I do my show notes. I'd already done them. So I was like, okay, well, let's compare what it did to what I did, and they're actually pretty close.
Does that say including CMAs and dams?
Where do you see it?
Beaver dams?
Where are you at? CMs and including CMAs and dams, yes. See, this is why you got to proofread. Yeah. Or Allison mentions that she doesn't want the $35 back. I don't even know what that was in reference to.
Where is that one?
Right here. Are my annotations not showing up? Oh, you can't see my... I'm doing all this highlighting and you can't even see it.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't see me talking about...
At the bottom of the takeaways. Yeah. And then if I scroll down, you can see all the chapters now.
Oh, wow. Drug arrests and logistics. Oh.
But what's fascinating is that was like a 35... Look, there it is again. CMAs and dams. Oh, DANs.
I know.
You were saying DANS, and it's yeah.
Damn.
So it took like maybe 60 seconds to go through 35 minutes and generate this, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
So
see, stuff like that I get, like building efficiencies and
yeah. You're like me. Like, how can I make this help me do my job better?
Yes. But not do my job for me.
Not do it for me. Yeah, I'm not going to phone in and then have to explain to you or to someone else like what the heck is this?
Exactly.
I had another question and now I've lost it. It's because of the snoring behind me. So if you don't use it for presentations and not really up for it, do you use it for? Have you tried it for anything else yet?
What did I try it for? I've tried it for a couple things, but it was mostly like because I couldn't figure out how to word something. Mm-hmm. And so it was helping me word something. And I know that sounds weird, but I was like,
I know what you mean.
I know the gist of what I want to say, but I can't figure out how I want to say it. And so I can't remember what it was specifically, but it helped.
I shared this with Connor. So I got it on my phone now. It's ChatGPT. So I'm paying for it, if that wasn't clear. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, what is the best way to cut a square gummy into thirds? Because I didn't want it in quarters anymore, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it was like, start from 11 o'clock and cut to the center, and then go from 1 to 2 o'clock and cut to the center. And it ended up with some...
do like 2 different cuts.
I was hoping for a better trick. I was like, surely someone's figured out in the world of gummies how to dosage these correctly.
Have you seen how you're supposed to cut a circle cake?
How to cut a circle cake?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
Yeah, so
You
someone
just stick your knife in there and
Well, you cut it in the middle and cut a piece out of the middle, and then you can squish it together so nothing dries out. And then the next piece, you just cut a straight piece out of the middle, keep squishing it together.
oh, to keep it moist and fresh. Okay. No,
That was
I didn't know that. I always have a big wedge missing.
I know. I always do the like however many cuts.
Interesting. So you're not getting a triangle. You're getting a ribbon of cake.
Sure. not a piece of pizza, but like a
rectangle of pizza. Yeah. Have you tried this in practice?
Not yet. I don't buy that many cakes.
Not either.
So...
Not a cake person.
But I saw it and was like, oh. I mean, I like cake, but
It's like one of those TikTok videos where it's like they show you how to make a taco with, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and then I'm never going to do that. But yeah.
And I like to bake from scratch. So I don't usually do like I do store-bought for like Dexter's birthday because I want him to have like a nice cake. So like for David's birthday,
Your cakes aren't nice enough for Dexter's birthday?
He wants decorations, and I'm not an artist. Like, I can bake and I can do that, but like I can't draw a Ninja Turtle. Like I know my limits, and drawing a Ninja Turtle. He'll be like, Mommy, can you draw this so I can color it? And I'm like, circle with a head and some.
There you go, ChatGPT.
Oh.
You could ask it for a shape and whatever, and print it off and give it to
David can draw, so I'm like, go ask David to draw it for me. And so then he'll be like, no, I want you to. I'm like, all right. And he's like, that was a really good try, Mommy.
Aw.
Thanks.
He's so encouraging. He wants you to be better, Allison.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
That's sweet.
Yes.
So what are you going to do with all this extra time now that you're not teaching?
I am going to relax in the evenings. I thoroughly enjoy my evenings. It is time to just decompress from the day, sit back. I also found out, so I do struggle sleeping, and so magnesium and tart cherry extract
you did tell me this.
knocks me out. Like no clue.
Like Haley?
Yeah. And then I bought Sleepy Time tea.
Oh yes, I love Sleepy Time tea.
I love Sleepy Time tea.
I love it.
So last night David was like, "Can I make me a I'm like, yeah, I will.
Do you get the regular or do you get the extra?
I got the extra.
Yeah.
I've
been a Sleepy Time tea fan for years.
Yeah. I'm not a huge tea. I like hot tea. I don't like cold tea. Like, I'll drink cold tea, but I don't.
Who would drink cold tea? Why would tea be cold?
Like
sweet tea? Oh, yeah.
And I don't drink sweet. If I drink tea, it's unsweet. But I prefer hot tea.
For those of you that don't live in the Carolinas, like Allison and I, sweet tea is a thing.
It's like a food group.
Yeah. Actually, they don't even say tea. They call it, they don't say sweet tea. They call it tea.
Yeah, it's just
tea. Like the rest of the world is sweet tea.
Yeah, like I have to be very specific. I'm like, unsweet tea. And they're like, what? I'm like, unsweet tea.
No sugar.
None. So, yeah. I guess.
Cool. Well, we're going to check back in sooner than usual. So we're going to record an episode early because you've got some crazy plans next week with...
Well, so Friday I'll be in Toronto.
Oh, okay. So I got to reschedule again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. When are you leaving?
So we leave Thursday morning and we get back Sunday. I might be on site Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week.
Right, in Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm. I'll know shortly. That's
why I moved it, because I was doing the episode as editing and you talked about that. And I was like, oh, I need to move that. So, okay, I will get with you off of here and figure out a good place. So, okay.
Right.
Have a wonderful afternoon.
You too.
Thank you for episode 39. See you, everybody.
Bye.